Have you ever split test offers on your website? 10% versus $10 off, 20% versus 10%, free shipping versus 20% off. You probably found some result that A offer works better than B version and so forth. But have you ever thought that some people might prefer free shipping and other people prefer 10% off and others prefer dollar amount off? In the past, we were choosing the winning version and we're sticking to that winning version and sending all traffic, all people, and offering them the same thing. However, today with tools like Monocle, you are able to personalize your offer based on customer avatar. And today with Mark from Monocle, we'll demo Monocle platform and show you how it works. Mark, what is Monocle and why it's important for brands?
Yeah, so great question. Monocle is an incentive platform that is driven by AI, so that's a mouthful already. The problem that we're trying to solve, Andrea, is that as you've seen with a lot of kind of e-commerce and direct-to-consumer brands, promotions, offers, discounts is something that is very common and has a lot of kind of influence over consumers, but it has a kind of dark side. It leads to a deterioration of the price point. It leads to kind of negative impacts on the brand, obviously LTV considerations. And so brands are trying to kind of tread carefully as they're using offers, but without a lot of tools. And specifically, kind of they don't know who should get what discount. And that's kind of what the core of Monocle is. We help brands figure out how to personalize the discount to a user, understand which user would like a free shipping, which user is more sensitive to bundle discounts, which user should just get a 10% or a $10 off a simple discount. And all of it is in the kind of the service of whatever the brand is looking to do. So our models run in the background and optimize for that metric.
I'm just curious, how does your model knows if I want for free shipping or 20% off?
So we use a lot of data. We use only first-party data that we get from the site, and then email marketing, e-commerce platforms. A lot of times that's Shopify, and we aggregate all of that data for every user, and we see how do different users with different profiles react to different offers. So we would try, to give somebody free shipping, and then we'll see if they will convert or if they will increase their AOV. We'll try to give them a bundle offer. And then what the machine learning on the back end is doing is aggregating kind of a lot of different interactions and tries to see the patterns. So we might see that, somebody that's a first-time user is more sensitive to a 10% off, while repeat users are more sensitive to bundle offers.
Okay, perfect. So Mark, can we see how in action your success?
Yeah, let's do it. The one thing that's important to understand before we dive into Monocle is that we are integrated across the customer journey. So brands can use us to inform pop-ups, they can use us to inform email and SMS interactions, even offline interactions like direct mail. We can be relevant in every one of those points. And for every kind of point in the user journey, we develop a model where we make predictions. So the predictions essentially try to see out of a preset number of offers, what is the optimal offer to give to every user at a specific point in time. And so, with that in mind, our landing page here is very much constructed by the different interaction points. So you see that there's a tab for flows, there's a tab for pop-ups, there's a tab here on the left side for triggered emails and campaigns. So all of those are workflows that we can develop a model for. The landing page, the point of it is to just give you kind of a high-level overview of what is live today, what is it that we have a model against, and then also provide some sort of high-level analytics here on the top on different promo-related metrics. So, total promo spend, average discount, average AOV.
So average discount, it's meaning somebody gets like 15%, somebody got like 5%, but on average for this brand, it's like 11%.
Correct. And that's not even related to Monocle. Those are things where, we aggregate from the transactional data and we just kind of highlight them. Where it gets more interesting, is here on the bottom. These are, everywhere that we have a live flow. So a live flow is essentially a model. And the model is an aggregation of a lot of different interactions that we get from Klaviyo or from PostScript or from Iterable, whatever it is. wherever the flows live. And then instead of giving a hard-coded offer to a user, we pick one of different offers, one offer out of a different offer set that the brand installs on us or asks us to kind of
Okay.
look at. And so in this case, this is what in deep dive page would look for this model. Then we can also go to pop-ups and see what a deep dive page can look
I'm
for.
just curious. Can we go back to the flows? I'm
Yeah.
very interested. So the distribution, I see there's distributions like no discount, 15%, 20%. But do we know how those offer perform,
Yes.
or so where
Yes.
can we see it?
Yeah, so let's kind of go through the whole all of the dashboards. So the overview is just total activity in the in the flows that are connected. Then we have model uplift, which is essentially how do we perform against a control group. In this case, there's no control group. And then what we have here is your question, Andre, which is the performance by different levels of promotions. So
Mm,
you see that the 15% off, 20% off, and no discount have different metrics for gross revenue, revenue, and gross profit. And then if we kind of expand, there's a deep dive, a lot of numbers on what really drives that conversion. So you can look at, gross AOV, net AOV, conversion, click-through rates, etc. So there's kind of a lot of analytics here to show you how the different offers are being utilized or are
mhm,
performing for these specific flows. And then the other thing is that, if you want to really kind of get a sense of a model versus a control group or a model versus a holdout group, we can set it up with kind of a variance split where instead of giving everybody the model, we can put together a control group that you can compare us against.
cool. How hard is to set it up in the ESP? You said iterable or Klaviyo. Is this is something you do, or the user can do it, like the brand can do it on their own?
Yeah, so we provide a lot of support, but the setup is pretty quick, and it's pretty standard across the different ESPs. So most ESPs have tags, user tags that we inform, and then the emails reference those tags.
Mm,
So on the pop-up side, most CSPs where you would run a pop-up have triggering mechanisms through their API that we are able to then control. And then we essentially, instead of controlling the content of the pop-up, we create different variants of pop-ups and trigger them. But on a high level, when we start working with a brand, we map out the different kind of interactions that we could inform. And then
hmm.
we go in and we do that initial onboarding. So we go in, let's say we clone the flows or journeys and automations, put together dynamic codes, put together the tags, reference the tags. And from there, every time there's more incremental build, there's a Slack channel or kind of email support, or, the brand at that point sometimes does it by itself.
Okay. And is there a like minimum email list size, or how big or how small can a brand be to
Yeah.
start using Monocle?
So it's a tricky question. We usually look at it from a GMV perspective because
Mm,
orders on the site is one thing, but where Monocle gets interesting, I think, is where you can, create a consistent experience between pop-up, email, and kind of win-back flows, win-back interactions. And so a lot of the times, brands that have more than $10 million in GMV, annual GMV, that is, are a
mm,
good size for us to have enough interactions that are interesting. So, if you take a step back, because we're so data heavy, we need
hmm.
to see enough people in every interaction to train our models. Our models are trained for your specific brand, for your specific audience. And so the $10 million GMV gives us kind of a good barrier to understand that there's going to be enough volumes across flows, pop-ups, win-backs for us to be relevant.
Nice, nice. So also you have, I see pop-ups and campaigns, and they are working the same way.
Yeah, so campaigns would work the same way. In our demo account, we don't have a campaign setup, but they will look the same way as Flow would look like. So
Uh-huh.
every time there's going to be a campaign, you can set it up on your ESP, but then also call us and then tell us what are the different offers that you wanna try in your campaign. And then based on that, we will look at the audience who will get that campaign and tag every user in your audience with the right offer.
Okay. And you mentioned something at the beginning about direct mail as well. You integrate with what, Postpilot, or
Yeah, so essentially any direct mail platform that has, webhooks that they can receive from the ESP we're relevant for. The way that
Mhm.
would work is the integration is pretty simple. I work with Postpilot, Lob, anybody that we essentially are able to say, for this user, trigger this specific postcard or this specific mail piece. What we do on the back end, kind of Monocle's value add is that direct mail is expensive, as everybody kind of knows. And so what we're
Yes.
able to say is, do we think that the cost of the direct mail for this user is going to be covered by an increase in conversion, an increase in AOV or not? And so we're able to kind of cut down on direct mail costs where they're not needed, and then also create more mail pieces maybe where a brand would not expect kind of an uplift from.
Nice, nice. And on average, like, I'm not sure if you have the data, but on average, what the uplift
Yeah.
from using Monocle for brands?
What can brands expect? Yeah, that's a fair question.
Mm.
So that really depends on how much data and the use case.
Uh-huh.
So, on pop-ups, we see on average a 10 to 15% increase in revenue from subscribed users. On email and SMS, where there's more data, and so the segmentation sometimes is a little bit more granular, we see a 25 to 35% increase in revenue, and even more than that on the gross profit level. So you gotta remember that the gross profit is very sensitive to discounts. With margin kind of being squeezed, we're able to actually, on a relative basis, improve profitability more than on a revenue basis. And then the real kind of unlock is win back and retention flow. So everything from lapsed customers, failure to launch, win back. That's where we're seeing, uplifts of upwards of 40% on a revenue per user basis. The secret sauce there, outside of just more data that we have on every user, is also the fact that at that point, we also are controlling the timing of the interaction, not only the value of the discount. So we would say, Andre, based on your specific activity in real time, today is going to be a day that the brand should kind of win you back with an offer, which is very different from just setting up, a static win back flow that is just based on one parameter, which is the time from the last purchase. And
Yes.
so there we're seeing kind of uplifts that are pretty impressive. And
Okay.
with every brand that we work with, we do an A/B test up front to kind of prove our value. And it's always better to see results than just talk about it.
Yeah. Nice, nice. And I'm just curious, like, is it something that brand lately we see a lot of brands with limited capacity of like bandwidth, team bandwidth.
Yeah.
Is it something that they can set it up once and it's just running on autopilot, or they constantly need to test, update? Is it like, if yes, so is it on a weekly basis, monthly
Yeah.
basis, quarterly basis?
Yeah, that's the big advantage of kind of the technology that we're using. So the upfront integration is most of the work. And again, that is something we support. But on an ongoing basis, essentially any adjustments that you would want to make to the models is going to be very incremental. So brands sometimes, add another offer to the mix or subtract an offer from the mix. But everything else is automated. So when the model picks up on the fact that there's some shift in consumer behavior or, extra sensitivity to offers at a certain time, the models will adjust by themselves. And
Hmm.
then we also on the back end have an automation flow that trains the models every couple of weeks to again pick up our new signals. So to your question, there is an upfront integration, but from there, some brands just choose to kind of track performance, but there's very little work that they do afterwards. And then we set up QBRs, quarterly business reviews, where we just go through the results, talk a little bit about the strategy for the next quarter, et cetera.
I see. If any of our listeners right now wants to go and try, how can they
Yeah.
do it?
So check out usemonocle.com, our website. Leave your details there, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for the demo of your tool.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you for the opportunity.
Want to discover how much money your email marketing can actually bring you? If that's the case, let our team of email marketing experts show you how. With our free email marketing audit, we'll conduct a comprehensive analysis of your email marketing efforts, provide you with an action plan, and show you how to effectively segment and convert your audience. Simply go to flowium.com/audit and book your audit today.
Hey, if you're watching this and you like what you see, please hit subscribe and hit the bell because it helps us grow our channel.